All right. Good morning, viewers. My name is Effanga Bassey, a safety professional, and I will be taking you on basic hazard control in churches. Um, it can as well be applicable to any place of worship. There have been cases of building collapse, church building collapse, stampede during some programs, and this has been a thing of concern to me as a safety expert. There were also cases of people contacting some diseases, some communicable diseases from church. So that's what informed this presentation. The objective of this presentation is to first we'll define safety, we'll define hazard and accident, and then we'll also identify the hazards in churches and then understand how to control this hazard. Yeah, the truth is that accidents don't just happen. Yes, they are caused. And what are the basic causes of accident? First, I know that most of you must have heard of unsafe condition. Then you must have also heard of unsafe acts. But the two things are summarized in what word? That is hazards. And they are what? Inherent harm, potential danger, things that has tendency to cause accident. And that is what we try to make people understand so that from there you can avert what? Accident. Like I rarely say, safety means freedom from harm, from danger. Hazards are potential harm, and they are also source of accident. And accident are the undesired event, the unintended event that result to loss. There are the unexpected events that occurrences that occurs that result to loss of life, could be injury, loss of life, could be injury, could be illness. It can even as well include loss of properties, and in most cases, the image of the organization. And in this case, we're talking about church, the image of that church. So think of a situation where a church that has a building collapsed, that so many people lost their life, how they are now trying to market their church, encourage people to come to that center church again, and then, these days of social media, once a little thing happen of that magnitude, before you could know, you'll be trending. So the image of the organization matters, and that's why it's important to take safety serious. And what are those hazards in the church? There are so many of them, but I just want to pick few and elaborate. First is structural integrity. Yes, like I mentioned, issue of collapsed building. A lot of churches, sorry to say, not well built. There's issues with the structural integrity. It could be from the contractor, or it could be from the management of the church themselves. Most church, in order to economize resources, they want to manage the integrity of the cement or the blocks, the concrete. Sometimes they even compromise the mixture in the process. And also, because we believe that it's in God's hand. Once you have it, God is the foundation. Nothing will happen. But no, Now, you need a certified engineer, you need a certified structural design engineers to carry out the building of any church in order to guarantee what? The integrity. Now, for every building, there is what we call the load factor. So it is an expert, a building expert, a structural design or engineer that will understand the implication of the size of rod, the quantities of sand, the mixture with water, with cement that will be required to give you the reliable integrity that can withstand any kind of, whether it is storm. And then the issue of considering other aspect of the load, like the kind of equipment you're going to bring in, the number of people that are going to occupy the structure will also be factored in the process. And even when after building, having this structure, I think I appreciate the Lagos state government and what they are doing. We discovered that after a certain period of time, they will carry out structural integrity tests on some buildings to check the integrity of that building in order to avert what? Building collapse. So the bottom line is, please, church builders or church developers and church leaders kindly engage or patronize certified structural engineers to give you a guarantee, and allow them, please, to do their work professionally. All you need to do is, maybe you can argue with them and try to look at it, but don't compromise standard because you're trying to save costs. It's very important. The next thing is overcrowd. Because most times it is a desire of every church leader to see his church park filled. In fact, if you have 100 chairs, most church will be very happy to see how maybe you have like 150 persons. But then the question is, how about the comfort of the 50 persons? You have 100 seats, yes, people will sit comfortably. So how about the remaining 50 persons? So, you see? And then I mentioned the issue of the building before. Have you considered also the size or the capacity of occupant that that building can contain? So it's important. So you discover that if you have, say, yeah, the building structure, by the design, it was supposed to be maybe 100 occupant and then you have 150. So it's a situation where people will pack fill, no space in case there is emergency. People cannot escape conveniently. And then you see most times even the exits are blocked. So the issue of poor ventilation comes in. And you also have, you can easily have a spread of infectious disease in the process. And then maybe during evacuation, who knows, it could also be stampede. Yes, like it happened recently, I think in Port Harcourt or so. Yeah, I can't remember the year. There was a case like that where a church, during their program, either in stadium or so, yes, a lot of people lost their life because of stampede. And then there could also be trip and fall because when there is no space, people, you don't know where you are putting your legs as you are making movement. The process, you could trip, you could fall, and who knows where it's going to land on the floor. It could be your head, it could be any part of the body, and then the issue of injury will come in. There is also risks of what we call agoraphobia, fear of crowd. Yes, among that crowd, there are people who have this fear for crowd. There'll be some panic. Now, in safety, there's what we call psychosocial hazards. Now, this agoraphobia may not be seen physically, but It might affect the concentration of that person. Maybe you are preaching, at the end of the preaching, you ask the person, "Ah, what was pastor saying?" The person, because the person at that time is concerned with his safety, whether, oh, the crowd, a lot of things running through his mind, and then the concentration is not there. There's also, yeah, what I discovered, most church leaders, I beg you have to take note of this, is important. Those that are physically challenged, those in quotes, maybe we call disabled. They are not disabled, they are physically challenged, and they have rights as human. It could be those that are physically challenged with sight, physically challenged with movement, maybe legs, limbs, so they need to be supported, or maybe those that are on wheelchair. How about the aged? So you consider all those, and so how convenient will they evacuate in case of any emergency in that overcrowded uh, church? So it's important. Like I mentioned, yes, there could be also spread of germs, vectors. Maybe somebody want to sneeze. So where is it dropping? On the air, and when people are also breathing. Maybe, like I mentioned earlier, the door, which may have been considered the main ventilation point, is obstructed, and then the limited oxygen within the room, everyone is scampering for it at that time. So there will be spread of germs, vectors, sometimes even on handrails. Yes, you can also have those things. Uh, and then because of how crowded it is, yeah, there is definitely going to be bodily contact, and there are so many infectious diseases associated. We're not saying that, yeah, people that are coming to church are infected, but please, that's not the message. But likely that you could have one or two infected persons that have some communicable disease, maybe airborne disease, for instance. Then in the process of that overcrowdedness, you breathe, these vectors, and then people that were maybe not infected could get infected in the process. Well, I would like to stop there, then get to know your comments as we continue the remaining ones. So I'll be doing this time to time, and I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Don't fail to subscribe as you comment or you hit the like button. Thank you very much. Safety is everybody's business, whether you're in the church, whether you're on the road, whether you're in your house. We have domestic safety, we have road safety, whether you're in your office, so we have occupational safety. So I want to take safety to everywhere. That's my intention, because those of us that practice occupational safety, we've seen a lot of benefit, and with the support of some management that show positive concern to safety, we've seen a lot of benefit in terms of reduction in incident, okay, at work. So thank you very much, and see you again.